All right, episode 11. When your old life starts falling apart, there comes a season when what once fit no longer does. Not because you failed, because you grew. Welcome back to Pathkeeper, a podcast and written series for those returning to truth, embodiment, and their original selves. If this episode found you just at the right moment, awesome. Take a breath. This space is meant to be felt, not rushed. Today's episode is for anyone who feels like the life they built no longer fits, not because they made a mistake, but because something inside them has changed. Today's episode is called When Your Old Life Starts Falling Apart. Nature has become one of my greatest teachers. One day I was sitting beneath a tree watching the wind carry away leaves that had only been there for a few days. The tree wasn't fighting, it wasn't chasing after every single leaf, it wasn't calling itself a failure because something beautiful had ended. It simply let the leaves fall. Not because the leaves weren't valuable, but because the season had changed. And I remember thinking, what if healing works like that? What if we spend so much energy trying to hold on that we forget growth has seasons too? Sometimes the most loving thing life can do is refuse to let us stay where we've outgrown ourselves. When your old life starts falling apart, it rarely happens all at once. It usually begins quietly. Conversations start to feel different. Places that once felt like home start feeling heavy. Roles you carried for years become exhausting. The things that you used to tolerate become impossible for you to ignore. You may even find yourself asking, what's wrong with me? Why can't I just be like I used to be? Why can't I be who I used to be? But maybe nothing is wrong with you. Maybe you're simply no longer in agreement with that version of life that required you to abandon who you were, who you truly are. And once that agreement breaks, you can't unknow what you've seen. The life you built was built by the person you were then. There's no shame in that. That person, the old you, did the best they could with what they knew. Honor them, thank them, but don't ask them to lead the next chapter. Growth always asks us to release something. Sometimes it's an old belief, sometimes it's a relationship, maybe it's a career, possibly it's a dream that no longer belongs to us. That doesn't make the season a failure, it makes it complete. And the hardest part is this: your nervous system often mistakes familiar for safe, even when familiar was painful. Sometimes your nervous system prefers painful and predictable over unsure. So when your life begins changing, your body might whisper, go back, apologize, make yourself small, try to be easier to understand. Not because that's truth, but because uncertainty feels vulnerable. If that voice shows up, meet it with kindness. Your body isn't trying to sabotage you. It's trying to protect you using yesterday's map. But you aren't living yesterday anymore. Here's another truth that deserves to be spoken. Not everyone will celebrate your growth. Some people only knew how to love the version of you that overfunctioned, the version that never said no, the version that carried everyone else's emotional weight. When that version changes, relationships often change too, and that hurts. Let yourself grieve it. You don't have to pretend every ending is easy. Healing isn't about becoming emotionally untouchable. It's about becoming emotionally honest. And you can grieve. You can grieve and still know you're moving in the right direction. Those things are not opposites. They belong together, just like autumn belongs to spring. Just like the tree does not call winter failure, it trusts what it can't see yet. Its roots keep growing long before new leaves appear. Maybe that's where you are today. Maybe from the outside, everything looks like it's falling apart, but underneath the surface, your roots are reaching places they never could before. That's not collapse, it's preparation. Now, for today's practice, ask yourself, what feels like it's falling apart right now? What feels like it's falling apart right now? Then ask yourself, is it actually breaking or have I simply outgrown it? And write whatever comes. Don't judge yourself. Don't try to fix it. I like to do self editing. Don't do that. Just honesty. And then one hand on your heart and tell yourself, I'm safe to feel this and I can move forward. I can feel this and still choose truth. Let your body hear those words. And remember, trees don't cling to every leaf. Rivers don't apologize for changing their course. Seasons don't ask permission to arrive. Creation reminds us again and again that letting go is not the opposite of life. It's often the way life continues. If your life feels like it's changing, you're not behind, you're not broken, you're not lost. You may simply be entering into a new season. Thank you for walking this path with me. Walk in truth, hold the line, become the path. Listen to the birds, watch the trees flow in the wind, and pay attention to the creation around you.